What do you do when you crash? What can a rider do?
It's a difficult situation to answer because most of the time I'd like to say if you can get on your back, it's the largest area of displacement on your body, and try to keep your arms and legs stretched out so that you don't start tumbling or tripping over. It's when you start digging something in, a leg or a heel or something, it makes you want to flip, is when you start breaking bones.
Slide on your back. Stay on your back.
Don't stiffen up and try to go off the low side. If you know there's a situation where you're going to crash, just, find the lowest way out, which is the low side. You don't want to go over the high side. What I mean by that is just take the motorcycle, and if you have to, grab the front brake and turn it in, and you'll find yourself a nice slide. You'll probably get up and walk away.
When you know you're going to crash, don't try and break the fall. Just go ahead, get away from the bike. Don't try and hang on to the bike if you know you're going to crash. The bike usually weighs at least 400 pounds. That's a lot of weight.
To lay a bike down, what do you do?
Well, I can just jump off. I mean, it's just, I'm not scared to jump off. If I get in a situation where I feel there's no way out, I'll just jump to the left or jump to the right, depending on which corner it is. And what you want to do is just plant your hands on the ground. You're gonna land on your knees and your palms of your hands, and you just try to control your slide and just stay low to the ground. Don't try to stand up till you know you're stopped. Because with today's safety equipment, the leathers we have, you have a lot of protection all over.
I've never done it, and I really don't believe that it's necessary to do that. I think that if you've got the ability, first of all, to ride within your level of riding, then there's no reason to lay a bike down. You should be able to stop that bike, you should be able to not lock up both brakes, and you should be able to counter steer around an obstacle.
Wherever you ride, especially in town with a lot of lanes, you should be looking ahead. Whenever there's a situation where you have 2 or 3 lanes going through an intricate corner, you should expect some sort of trouble there. So as you move in through the traffic flow, expect them to move over. I mean, you just have to not be surprised when it happens to you, as this rider will be. And if you are cut off, don't spend time looking at him. Look forward. That's where your attention should be. Another thing is, don't ride around your kickstand down. It could knock you over and you look really stupid. Now, as you know, intersections are dangerous places, and you know some of the things to watch for. Now, everyone is different. Now, here the rider should be looking to his left up the hill where the cars come down very fast and make a right-hand corner. That's where his attention should be, because that's where the danger is in his present position. He should be ready to move at any time. Now, when you come to a stop at an intersection and you're going to put your foot down, put it in the tire track. Don't put it in the center of the lane where the oil and the antifreeze is. So remember, always in the tire track. Now, when driving on a 2-lane road and you're passing by a place of interest like a beach in the summer or a park or a game, you want to move in the lane away from where everyone is parking and pulling in and out. And you also want to be aware that cars coming the opposite direction might be doing U-turns in front of you, so move away from where the activity is. And now, when you're in traffic and a bus or a truck stops in front of you, don't just rip by. You must clear the area in front of the truck, because you do not know what is there. And if there's something coming out of there, they can't see you and you can't see them, so be aware of that. Now, when you're riding in the canyons or the mountains, you want to ride also in the tire tracks. And we've already told you to move to the outside of a corner and come in. But one thing you want to do is look ahead at corners. And if you don't know the road, you can sometimes spot certain tire marks, people locking up brakes. If it's a sharp corner, it's going to give you trouble. Most likely it already has given other riders trouble. So be looking ahead for tire marks when they lock the wheel up. You can learn a lot by looking into a corner. Now here's an example right here. Someone locked up a brake right there going into that corner. You should watch for that. Now as you go through, you can see in slow motion, other people had worse trouble. This guy, a couple guys went off on a motorcycle right here. You can see the screech marks going right over the canyon. Now that was caused by, they came in way too fast for this corner, locked up the brakes, and sailed right over the edge there. You just do not want to speed on the street. whether you're in the canyon. If you want to go fast and race, go to the racetrack. Another thing to be aware of is look ahead and don't go ripping into areas where it's covered in shadow. That's especially true in the mornings because there could be dew there, it could be wet. You do not have the visibility. So as you're driving, look ahead. Okay, another thing to be watching out for when you're riding is watch out for turnouts. There is a turnout on the right. Your big danger here is you're going to come sailing around the corner and you're going to get a motorhome coming out to take a look at the view. So slow down for those. In town, whenever you see police cars, fire engines, emergency situations, people are not looking at you on the motorcycle. They're looking over there, so they can be coming up to you and they're looking at the cop, and you better be ready to get out of the way. Another thing is when you go to the right-hand lane in town, anyone can turn from the left lane at any time. So as you're going by cars, expect them to come over. Now in town, your number one danger is cars turning left in front of you. Here's a shot from inside the car of you hopefully getting out of the way. So be watching for this because they do not see you. You can practice your motorcycle riding when you're not riding your motorcycle. You can do that when you're driving your car. When you see a motorcycle, watch him. See when he disappears, see when he's vulnerable. You can learn from watching other riders. And if you have a car driver's mindset, you'll understand when you are vulnerable. You can watch and see if other riders are doing the correct things, like that rider looked both ways before he crossed the intersection. That's very good. Here, you can see that a motorcyclist is very vulnerable here. You should be aware of those situations. Here you see when it's easy to disappear in a mirror. You talk about being in blind spots. There are always blind spots. Slow down in alleys. They may look deserted, but there's a lot of danger. People backing out, dogs, the list goes on forever. Now, one other thing we said in Street Smarts 1 is motorcycles stop faster than cars. That's not always true. You wouldn't want to try to stop as fast as this Porsche, especially in the rain or if the road is a little bit dirty, so be aware of that. Okay, in town and you're in a two-lane road, you're on the right-hand lane. If there's a truck going kind of slow ahead of you in the left lane, he's making a sharp turn, don't scoot around on the right-hand side. He may come over, and you do not want to mess with that with a 40-ton truck and curb on the right-hand side. That's something you don't want to do. When entering a freeway and you decide to split lanes, look behind you because there may be other motorcyclists who are doing the same things. A lot of guys will just shoot right out. Here he thought the road was clear. He went, whoa, two more guys. So clear your lane before you move into it. Very important.